I am at Mexico City International Airport and it is 4:20 in the morning. I'm not a fan of early morning flights, but Air Canada operates only one flight a day from Mexico City to Vancouver, so here we are.
Hello and welcome back. Today I'm flying Air Canada 737 Max 8 in business class. I flew economy class preferred seat on my flight to Mexico City and I wanted to compare it to the business class experience. Same airline, same aircraft, different cabin. My flight this morning is Mexico City to Vancouver, flying for about 6 hours in Air Canada's narrow-body 737 Max 8 aircraft. I got to the airport just after 4 a.m. Check-in was quick and easy as there were no lineups. I had checked in online but didn't have my digital boarding passes because I lost my phone in Mexico City. I got printed boarding passes from the agent, which I kind of like having. There are a handful of self-check-in kiosks here, but I did not see anyone using these. Perhaps it was too early for the people to be at the airport?
Well, that was quick and easy. I just had to pick up my boarding passes. I'm not checking in any bags. That took a total of about 30 seconds to grab my boarding passes and head out to security.
The arrival experience at Mexico City was underwhelming, and to my surprise, the departure experience is equally underwhelming to say the least. There seems to be endless hallways that are narrow and crowded. It isn't too early to be at the airport after all. Stores on one side, departure gates on the other side, and narrow hallways with nothing else in sight.
A bunch of the stores are closed, some are open. It is 4:30 in the morning, but it looks like the airport is going through a renovation, which I'm really glad to see, honestly, because arriving into Mexico City International Airport was very underwhelming.
I really hope this renovation is a major one and redesigns the departure experience. I feel boxed in and not in a nice way. It felt like walking through a Middle Eastern bazaar, to be honest. Because I'm flying business class, I get lounge access. Air Canada uses Star Alliance partner United's lounge here in Mexico City. Finding the lounge was another adventure. I walked all the way to the end of the hallway to find out the lounge is halfway back. There was no clear signage or even any signage walking towards the lounge. If you're going to design your airport like a maze, at least give us some hints about the location.
I'm going to the United Club Lounge here in Mexico City because it's part of Star Alliance and they're the only Star Alliance lounge here, I think. There is also the American Express Centurion Lounge, which is nice, but finding this United Lounge is not easy. It's tucked away in a side gate kind of an area. And because the entire terminal is just like a long, narrow walkway, it can be easily missed. But I think I am close.
The lounge, just like the airport, is underwhelming. Maybe I'm expecting too much from this airport, but Mexico City is a major city in the Americas, and this airport is third busiest in Latin America with flights to over 100 destinations. The room that United calls a lounge at this airport has some seats, breakfast snacks, and drinks. Maybe they offer the main course later in the day. If any of you folks know, let me know in the comments.
I was supposed to fly economy class both ways from Vancouver to Mexico and Mexico City back to Vancouver. I did pay for preferred seat on the way here because I wanted to check that out. And because I wanted to do a comparison between business class and economy preferred row on the same aircraft, I upgraded myself to business class on the way back.
This area was much bigger and open. It felt like I could finally breathe, but it was packed with people. I got some last-minute tequila bottles for gifting friends and then approached the desk agent to request early boarding to get some pictures of the cabin. They graciously allowed me to board first. First impressions are, wow. Having flown economy class on the flight here, the business class cabin, albeit smaller with only reclining seats, felt nice. The black color branding on Air Canada really looks sophisticated and elegant. I love the color pattern of the black seats against the red logo. The cabin is neat and clean. Comparing to the preferred seat in economy that I flew only a few days ago, I can immediately feel the difference in size and comfort. Even though this isn't a lie-flat seat, it feels spacious, and I did not feel like I was disturbing the passenger next to me when I was moving or reaching for things. Business class on this flight is 2-2 configuration with a total of 16 seats. Pretty soon after boarding, we were given hot towels, which I appreciated. The seat is wide enough to sit comfortably. The armrest has enough room to not bump into your neighbor. The drink area is also large enough to hold a couple of glasses. The tray table is in the side armrest and pops out with a quick tap of a button. There is a storage compartment under the armrest which is bigger than it looks. It can easily hold a purse or an iPad. This compartment also has a charging port and the earphone jack. The recline is decent even in the last row. There are 2 buttons on the armrest for recline and the leg rest, which work smoothly.
I've flown Air Canada business class on the 737 Max 8. The last time I was flying this aircraft, I was in row 1. I don't really recline my seat all the way back because I don't want to inconvenience the person behind me, but I'm in row 4 now and I can go all the way back. And that is a pretty fantastic recline, I must say. And we've got some complimentary headphones, which we did not get in economy when I flew on the inbound flight. So that's nice because I don't have a phone and I pretty much have to raw dog this flight.
In preparation for takeoff, make sure you're comfortably seated with your seat back upright and tray table still.
Within an hour of takeoff, we were getting served breakfast. I did not have a phone, so I could not order breakfast beforehand. I opted for eggs and Coke. The meal was nice. I spent the rest of the flight watching a movie and resting. The crew came by mid-flight to offer snacks and drinks, which was nice. Even though this is a narrow-body aircraft, we're still flying business class, and the price also reflects that. But what doesn't feel like business class is that there is no amenity kit. If you're going to be charging people upwards of $2,500 one way for business class tickets, you gots to give out amenity kits. To get over the disappointment of not receiving an amenity kit, I watched my plane on the map. The IFE map is not bad. You can zoom and tilt at multiple angles, and the touchscreen has quick feedback. The entertainment options are good too. I finished watching the last episode of the documentary I started on my inbound flight. We landed in Vancouver on time, and I had 5.5-hour layover before my connecting flight and final flight to Victoria. At the start of the trip, I was excited to fly a narrow body after a long time, and now that I've done that, I realize how much I prefer wide body. The post-travel exhaustion hits different when you have spent 6 hours on a reclining seat with no amenity kit instead of a lie-flat bed. The smaller cabin and aircraft also plays part in your experience in the air. That is why newer jets such as the 787 Dreamliner and the A350 have cabin designs to make your journeys more comfortable. It is obviously not always possible to fly wide bodies on medium haul routes, so we have to make do with the 737s and A320s. So the big question, how was my flight? I'd say it was good. I had a fairly comfortable flight. My whining about wide bodies earlier is really apples to oranges comparison, so keep that in mind. If I were to fly a narrow body in business class again, I would fly Air Canada 737 Max 8. Not all 737s have similar business class seats, so it obviously won't be the same if you're flying on a different airline. But very few narrow bodies have lie-flat beds. Airbus is betting big on A321XLRs with their single-aisle lie-flat business class cabins. But will that become the new normal? I doubt that. Have you flown on this aircraft in business class? Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are.
Customs and immigration is cleared. The airport is pretty chill, as it is always. So I paid $320 for a business class upgrade on a narrow body aircraft for 6 hours. And I think it was totally worth it, and I would absolutely do it again. Would you pay that to upgrade for business class on a narrow body on medium haul flight? Let me know. Thanks for watching.